Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts, coming in today to share with you the paper piece I'm working on for a card, and then I will also share the quick card tutorial also. This is me and my favorite Peeps, I think it's called, from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. I picked this because it had originally 4 Peeps in the basket. Well, the card is for some of my great nieces and nephews, and there are 5 kids in the family. So I added one more Peep to the basket to include them all. So that's basically the only reason I'm using this one. There's so many cute Easter files, but I wanted something that would be a little bit more encompassed to both boys and girls. So I'm going to kind of start on my title first, and I may have to stop and get the file in front of me, but I think I'm okay right now. So I'm starting, like I said, on the title, and I've got all these pieces kind of mixed together. So, and I believe we're going to go with the little ones here. Not sure. Just going to kind of bring these Peeps in, and I've got all my pieces kind of mixed together. I apologize. Okay, so it's the littler Peeps we're using for the title. Not a big amount of change in there, but so I'm going to put those down first. I did not cut the eyes out for any of the Peeps. I'm going to be just more than likely just using a marker, black marker. I did not feel like fighting with quite that small of pieces, because I did size this for an A6 size card, so it's probably a lot smaller than I would normally make. And I just want to make sure I did get the dot for an eye in here, but I don't know if I'll find it. If not, I will just probably use some black Nouveau drops. I don't know. I got a mess, so and I think this goes like this, and then just have to think about this a moment. I'm going to bring up the pattern real quick here on the internet, so it'll be just a moment. Should have had this up, I'm sorry. Just about there. Apologize, my arm being in the way. Okay, so I've got the 2 colors mixed around, not the end of the world, and that is then all that's okay. I got it. Why would I be organized? I am sorry. This was kind of a last minute thing when I found out that we are not having Easter as a family this year. Just not taking any risks. So got a couple of us, well, we've got lots of kids, but a couple of us that, well, good share of us are all at a higher risk for getting coronavirus, and we just decided not to try it, not to push it. All right, get this. I have, like I said, I'm sure it's probably stuck to another piece, the dot for that, but if I don't, it's all good. Let's try to remember as I go along. I'll just improvise. They will not, okay, know the difference. Goodness, I'm having a struggle today, I'm sorry. I'm going to figure out where these go. This E might help. There. Should have laid this out a little bit before I started, and it was just kind of a last minute thing that I thought I will share with you a video on putting it together if I can find all my pieces. Such a beautiful day. I should be outside, and I am not ready for that yet. Not quite feeling up to par today, so stay in the house, get some crafting done. Might actually cook. I'm looking for my S. I even have my glasses on, folks. This would be a good reason to put the green over here, but they'll never know the difference. They can read. Okay, got that going. Gonna work on my basket next, and the way she has it, I'm looking at this right. I'm gonna piece this, get in the frame, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna piece this a moment because I just want to see how. There's one piece that's shorter, but the way they have it looking in the camera or on the picture is that these little short pieces actually kind of overlap, and I don't think that's the case. No, I'm going to put those underneath. I'm just always looking for that black dot for the eye in case I come across it. Kind of eyeball this. There is a basket weave embossing folder that I would love to get. I just not buying anything that's not considered a necessity right now, to be honest with you. I can wait a little bit. Just kind of measuring out sizes and see if these two shorter ones are. So there are 3 that are one size, 2 that are another, and I'm sure I'll figure out that, oh, by the way, I did this wrong. I'm putting these here. I probably should have used the longer ones on top. I don't know. But keep in mind, you have this going over the top, so it's going to cover up anyway. So I can always manage to make things sound right, or work out somehow. Okay. I do want to get that up a little bit so it's just barely covering there though. And this one goes in the middle. This would be a really nice basket if you were looking for a basket in the fall for apples. You could change the color of the top to, dark brown. I'm sure there are plenty of baskets out there, but if you don't have a lot of files, it's really nice when you can improvise and use other files. So just an idea. And my peeps will go in here. We start with the, yellow one. And then it's a pink one. Gotta kind of get these in the right way so they all fit. You know, since I was sick earlier this month, my voice is just off to me. Even when I'm on the phone working, it just doesn't sound right. Some days it's better or worse than others, I don't know. I don't want them all the same height, the same way, so put him in kind of straight, him or her. Put him up just a hair. And then we got this little blue guy who's trying to peek out and not sure what he's doing. Just want to make sure I can get the eyes in there. And then the little green dude. So 1, 2, 3, okay, so got all my peeps in there. Then I'm going to leave this piece off till last so I can work on the face. Get that going. Again, I put my nose down fairly low. I don't like my eyes and my nose up real high. Just a preference I have. Oh, I'm going to take the oval. Try to get them fairly straight. I put my eyes at a little bit of a slant. Don't know if it matters, but that's what I like to do. I'm going to come back and do the rest of the face a little bit. I'm going to do some of these other pieces. The ears, it's going to be hard to explain. I'm just not sure how I want them. So on the ears, I don't know if you can see, maybe I'll put it on the back here. I'm going to put the curves going out so the straighter piece of the ear is to the inside, if that makes sense. Oh. So the reason I say that is make a difference on putting these pieces into. You'll want to pay attention. There's a little more of a curve at the top and then it's straighter here. So, and also the curve here curves in, so you can kind of tell from that. Yep, that looks pretty good. Just putting mine in the middle there. I'm going to set those two pieces aside and we can bring in the paws. And the paws also, they're going to have a bigger curve on the outside. The straighter curve is on the inside. And watch that maybe when you're doing the pinks also of the pads. I'm putting these down because I've got 3 little, I don't know, like the pads of his toes. Well, good grief. And wonderful, I have them. I have all 6 pieces. I tend to lose pieces a lot. Go figure. I could get that over just a little bit, get it better, centered better. There. Time to clean the tweezers again. It gets gooey from the glue, and I don't always get it cleaned every time. I am making this just a simple A6 card. I'm going to, hold on a second, I'm going to try to get my camera from falling. I'm sorry to move it on you. I need a new clip with this different camera, I can tell. And I keep bumping the table, that doesn't help it any. We'll get it worked out. But anyway, I'm going to make this just a simple A6 card. It won't be quite as thick and heavy as the other one, but it's all good. Now we have this little piece. It's like a double piece, and it's his eyes. Well, it's the rabbit's eyes, like the mask of the rabbit, if that makes sense. And I'm going to come in and get my marker and some chalk, and we will do the face. I use a jelly roll, either an 8 or a 10. I think there might be a 5, I'm not sure. Just looking here. The 2 I have right here in front of me are 8, but I thought I had a 5 maybe. I probably just don't have it out. And I need a alligator clip. Looking for one here. And my paintbrush for my eyes, because I don't have, or for the white chalk. I knew there was something. I'm going to get my pan pastels. If you haven't seen my previous videos, for the new viewers, I do use pan pastels for the eyes. This is black. I get this from Amazon. I also use the white. This is the titanium white, and this is just it's a Lowell Cornell soft comfort, excuse me, 1/8 inch angle shader, just a paintbrush. I like the grip on this, because it's more like a silicone or a rubber, so it's just easier to grip, more so than a wooden handled paintbrush. And at the time, I guess, I don't know if I really was paying that much attention. I just remember getting it. I think I got it at Joann's. It's been quite a while ago, but I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. So I just put a little bit of black around the edges, and I sometimes go around the whole eye with my pen. Lately, I've been trying to do just where I kind of working, because it will make the eyes stand out more, and I don't always like the effect. So okay. I have a struggle working with Very small eyes, I'm sorry. Really do. Those are off. It's good. I can't work upside down very well. I normally don't. I have my head like about here to work, you know, within about 6 inches of it. So we're going to leave it alone. But I need to chalk the edges of the cheeks and do just a little bit more on the eyes. So I am using, it's a different brand of chalk. They're not new. I've had them for, oh, there's an alligator clip in there. I've had them for a long, long time. It's just the Pebbles chalk. I have 2 different sets of this, but they all have, they're pearlescent. They have like a pearl effect. You don't see it a whole lot, but that's what I'm using. And I'm using this color up here. I think I'm going to use the lighter color. Start with that one. It's kind of come in a circular motion. I might add some peach in there yet. It's kind of pulling in just the edges of her cheeks, and I need just a little bit more on the edge here. And then I got a little bit more than I wanted, so I will come back with my eraser. Some of my tools in my cup here, and I don't keep all of them in there. I just use the ones I use most of the time. Okay, now I'm going to do the eyes quick. Just because these are such small eyes, I'm only putting in dots. I'm going to come back after that dries and put in the little bit of chalk. I don't want to mess with it now, or I will have smeared eyes. Excuse my reach. So now I'm going to come in. I'm only putting glue around this inner ring first. I just try to be very careful. You don't have a lot of room to work with. What I've done in the past is made the head just a smidgen larger, and then I have more to work with, but I want to make sure I get this. I had a little bit of the skin showing at the bottom, or the flesh color, and I wanted that adjusted, so that's starting to turn out really cute so far. Okay, now these ears, yeah, like this, and I have to figure out, they're going to go fairly close together, but before I do that, I kind of want to see where I want. Could go a little bit further apart. Okay, so far, so good. This is going to come on, and it's just, I'm just putting glue at the very bottom. Before I go any further, now I'm going to come back and put just a little bit at the top, so I knew where I was going there. Just the very corners, just a very corner piece. I think I got glue on there, yeah. Put some eyes in here. Well, I'm waiting for that to dry just a little bit. I'm going to come in with a little bit of chalk and just put a little bit of chalk in the, I can get it in here. Since this is actually supposed to be like a little child with the rabbit hat on, so to speak, I'm not putting any whiskers or anything in. You know, had it been an actual rabbit, I would have put whiskers in. So if you're wondering, well, why am I not doing that? That's why. I'm just going to put a little bit of chalk in there. Sorry, I feel like I'm getting out of frame all the time today. Okay, then I'm going to put the nose on. I just think this is turning out cute. I think I've been in the house too long. Need some distraction. But I love putting these paper pieces together, watching them come together. Always fun. Well, that's drying. I'm going to look for a... Aha. I think I found a color I want. Get my clip back. Looking for something for the eyebrows. I'll explain in just a moment. I have this. I might use this top peak color. Just want to go a little bit. And I'm going to use a small pom-pom, just a baby one here. Sorry, I always tap off the excess and just kind of go over the eyebrows a little bit. That's not dark enough. Let's try the bottom one. It might give it a little more color. Can always add a little pink. Okay, it may not show in camera, but it's enough that it is showing for me. It just adds a little more dimension. You don't have to do that, honestly. I mentioned to somebody, and I'm not sure who it was, I said, I feel like I overdo my pieces, and they said no. And I don't know. Sometimes lately I feel like I do, but whatever. Okay. I was gonna do something, and I forgot what it was. I'm gonna add a little bit of pan pastels to his nose, just putting in a little white, kind of highlight. And I'm also gonna do that on his paws before I, excuse me, before I add them in. Just doing the pads, a little bit of his paws. All right, now I'm gonna put his body, its body, whatever, on. My glue has not been covered. Okay. I'm gonna put this at a bit of an angle. I'm not a big person for putting the head on straight, sorry. And going to find a ruler, maybe. The purpose of this is to make sure that I get this piece, excuse me, the right size. I do not want it too large that it does not fit on my card. I'd be really upset. So I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to make a mark on my page where my card ends. So card is going to be up to there from the bottom. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. yeah, so I'm just going to kind of basically put this here. Its paws go on like this, and I'm just going to bring it down here. Okay, we're good. Got plenty of room. So I can bring this down a little bit. Normally you wouldn't have this purple one in the middle, so it wouldn't be, you know, covering up quite so much, but that's part of what's going on there. Try to get this somewhat straight, right? I want this to be a little bit crooked, so we're good there. So far, so good. Now, this paw, I'm only going to put glue on the one side. And actually, his hands are to go behind his paws. So, and if you're wondering, I did use gray on this bunny. I just wasn't comfortable using blue this time. It just really depends upon the project I'm working on, what color I use for my ink on white. So if you're wondering, I don't have a good rhyme or reason. Okay, there we go. And then I have a little bit of inking on here. You can see this. Let's see. I'm going to add a little bit of white to these also, the white chalk. My favorite Peeps is actually going on the inside of the card. It's not going on the outside. So I sized it to make sure it would fit in a 4.5-inch card. It is approximately 4 inches, I'm almost positive. And then I let the computer decide the width, or the height of it, excuse me. But the width is 4 inches for the black piece, because the card is 4.5. So otherwise, if you weren't, you know, if you're putting it together the way the computer suggests us, it goes somewhat like this. So, excuse me, get this in camera here. I'm gonna zoom out just a little. There you get the full effect of it. And I'm going to go ahead and get these eyes on my little Peeps here. Once this black dries, I'm going to attempt to put in little white spots. I don't know if they'll, you know, work, but I will try it. And then I need them on here. Be careful, because that black will still smear. It's not dry. So that is my project, and I will be back with the card. Be back in a moment. Thanks. Okay, if you stuck around to watch the video, I'm going to go ahead and excuse me, put the card together. Realized I had one card underneath there. So I've got my 2 paper pieces, and I'll go ahead and start. I've got everything cut and I inked my edges. I'm using a card base that is if it's flattened, it's gonna be 9 inches. We double check it. Yeah, 9 inches, so it's 4.5 across, folded, and then it's 6.25 inches high. Excuse me, struggling today with my voice. And then my piece, my first layer, which will be this purple layer, this is 1/8 of an inch smaller. I do want to just let you know, for this card, I'm using just a 65-pound weight cardstock because I have so many layers. So I'm good with the weight on that. Kind of waiting for my glue to drip down here. It's getting toward the bottom, and the nature of beacon glue is when it gets toward the end of the excuse me, toward the end of the bottle, it will start to bubble back up, and that's just because of the ingredients in the glue. So I'm used to that, and I'm okay with it. So I'm putting my first layer down. Excuse me, can't talk very well today. My paper is all from Doodlebug Designs. It is the 6-inch paper pack, Happy Easter. I like getting 6-inch once in a while because when I do cards, I like having the smaller print size. So, and I'm switching up colors. I wanted this to be bright and cheerful. It's just, there's a lot of colors in the paper piece, so I'm kind of using those as my guide. Okay, I opted to go with the purple on the back, and this is a little brighter, it's just more cheerful. So my pieces are all pretty much the same, about 3.5 wide by 4 5/8 inch long. This was cut with a stitched rectangle die. I don't have it out. Oh goodness, I don't know it. I want to say from Paper Tray Ink, but it could have been from My Favorite Things. I honestly do not know. I don't remember. It was a set of nesting stitch dies. And that's kind of where I got the base for the next one. I'll get this together. I struggled with paper colors and whatnot for this card. Because there's so many colors in the paper piece. Normally I would use the purple on the front. I would have put it like this. It just, for me, worked better this time this way, and I'll show you in a moment here. Bring my card base back in. I'm putting them like this. And then it's gonna go like this. I opted to put this on the front because I do have I'm gonna do the inside separately, different. I just didn't like it this way. Too boring of a color. So the glue's coming unglued here, undone. So, but normally I would put a less busy piece on the top where the paper piece is, but I think part of it is because there's a lot of white that shows on there. I just decided to go with print, and I'm putting it corner to corner. These both are going to go at a little bit of an angle here. Goodness, I'm sorry. I think I just Did something to bump the camera. I apologize. Oh, I don't want glue on my papers. And again, I'm angling it at the bottom and then making sure it doesn't go off the side there. I'm going to do the inside quick. I'll come back and finish the outside, but I use a different glue for that. My inside, I just took one of the border pieces from the card, or from the paper pack. I've got the blue. It is also at, well, it's an 1/8 of an inch smaller, so it would be 6 1/8 tall and 4 3/8 inch wide. And I opted, like I said, to ink all of my pieces except this next one because it's so much white. I didn't know what color to use. I like to do that. It just makes things pop a little bit more. Your paper pieces and everything will stand out if you do that. Again, that's just a personal preference, though. Excuse me. So this piece would be 6 inches tall by 4 inches wide, or 4 1/4 inches wide. I need to get glue on these next two pieces and then I'll explain what I did. My sentiment was from a stamp set I received from a viewer and a wonderful supporter, Kim C. Thank you very much. I did use a smaller stitch die from that same set from the front. Then I cut the bigger piece out of orange, just a little bit larger. I'll see if I have the name of the stamp set here in a moment. I just want to get this glue covered up. And I'm just putting this right in here. Well, goodness, talk about crooked. That's good. And then I'll just put a little note here. I'm just looking for the card set. Yeah, it's from mycraftspotshop.com. Happy Easter. It doesn't have any other numbers or anything on, but I use this one here. I've used this set a lot already for Easter. Wonderful stamps, images or sentiments on there. And okay, now I can find my, so that's my inside, my other glue. And we will get the bunny on there, or the paper piece. I guess it's more of a little kid with the bunny costume. I'm making it pretty much right up to the top, so I'm going to pop that on first, not using any pop dots or any kind of dimension, because honestly the card is quite thick now with all of the layers. So, and I'm going to show you another card I'd previously made, and I'm going to be doing the same with this. I'll show you the envelope. I'm using up a lot of my single-sided paper that I may never use again. I don't know, but so I'm using it for envelopes for my odd size cards. I do have envelopes for this size card, but I thought the kids would get a charge out of having a printed envelope on the inside. this bottom piece of the Peeps down here will go as close as I can get it to the bottom also. And that's going to go there. So see if I can get this on. Using a good amount of glue because there's a lot of layers that it's got to kind of go through here and adhere to. So I just want to hold that down for a little bit so it adheres as best I can get it. But that is my finished card. So, and then again, the inside, just keeping it very basic. But I do want to thank you all for watching, and I will get the other card and show you the envelope. And I do this on my envelope punch board. However, you could use your electronic cutting machine also to cut it. But I'm just using set pattern paper, and then card just goes right in there, and it's really a nice weight. This is just what you get in those like 180-pound sheets of our pads, the 12-inch. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.